Friday, December 27th, 2024. And after 25 hours of driving for a 34-hour visit with my family, I have returned only to find that yesterday, while I was barreling across interstates, there was a huge dust up within the Republican Party. Um, because uh, they haven't even gotten to power yet, and so far all they've done is just fuck up. They cannot seem to pull themselves together at all, which is kind of fun to watch. I don't want America to fail, but watching these bumbling idiots bumble is pretty funny. So I guess the Orange Toddler nominated some man of Indian descent, I guess, to be like advisor on AI or something something. And of course, all the MAGAs are getting a little rowdy, the racist little fucks that they are, because racists got a race, and they are like, "Hey, what's with the brown guy being in charge of stuff?" And there's brown guys that he keeps picking. And where's our white nationalist country? And how come all these tech guys that are just sort of coming in at the last minute are like getting all these jobs and stuff? And Laura Loomer specifically is like, hey, tech guys, there's some of us that have been here. We've been doing this since 2016. And she famously got kicked off Trump's plane for being too much of a lunatic. So it's like I'm like, I want work too. What about us? We've been loyalists all along. And so uh, with all this dust up and people mad about these brown people and tech people getting involved at the last minute, and Laura Loomer, I don't think it's really technically incorrect. I don't really want to agree with her, but she's like, aren't these tech guys just sort of coming in and sort of getting in on the grift, and like they weren't here all along. They don't understand us. And well, because they don't agree entirely. Um so Vivek Ramaswamy, um who, along with Elon Musk, Vivek is of Indian descent. Musk is an immigrant himself from South Africa. Um, and, they're this Department of Government Efficiency that doesn't exist yet, and hopefully never will. Perhaps this is the beginning of the implosion of that entire thing. But so he gets on and goes on this big, long screed trying to defend these these appointment nominations and the choices that Trump is making, and why we need people from other countries. Basically, he says, because the American education system really strives towards more mediocrity, and it doesn't value intellect. And I can't really necessarily say that he's entirely wrong either. Um, but basically insults the American workforce, saying we need to bring people from other countries who are actually educated and know how to do stuff. And so then all the MAGA trolls get all mad. And not just the rank and file voters who wear all the red hats and the garb and wave the flags, but like these online personas that have these big MAGA followings on social media and are like, hey, Vivek, no, actually, this is what we meant. We don't want all these people coming in. That's why we want to get rid of all the HB1 visas, which Trump has been talking about. He did a version of that in his first term, slowing them down. And I think he actually stopped them for a brief period of time. And people like Musk and Ramaswamy, who's a venture capitalist, and people who are interested in building out tech companies, funding startups, and making sure things uh, grow. Excuse me. Um, they use a lot of HB1 visas to hire their workforce, to bring in a lot of the technical workforce. And part of that is, they can. if they're bringing them to the country on the HB1 visa, that's what allows that person to be in the country. So it ties that employee to the employer, makes them a little more subservient because the only reason they can stay in the country is because the employer has sponsored them through this visa. So they're less likely to, try to unionize or make trouble or leave, and they can pay them a little bit less than they would have to pay an American because they've got this. They don't, the American doesn't need the visa, and that the American can get a job wherever he wants. She, they, and so it helps sort of the the, the that sort of whole world and the people, the Elons, um, sort of control their workforce a little more because the workforce is beholden to them to be in the country. So there's a lot of HB1 use of the HB1 visas. And I don't think the tech bros really got that memo because, they've only come in the last minute. And uh, so that is going on. And then Elon gets involved to try to soften Vivek's message and sort of defend the use of the visas and why that's important. And then all hell breaks loose because they're like, and again, Laura Loomer's like right at the forefront of it. It's like, you last minute Charlies coming in here. No, we've been saying we get rid of the HB1 visas. We've been trying that. We've been here since 2016, and you coming in at the last minute. Then the way that she phrased it, directed at Elon, was very strange. And she said, "You've only been involved since," and I quote, "Trump nearly got his head blown off." Very strange wording to describe the timing of when Elon got involved in the campaign, and it makes me wonder: is there? Because we all know that shooting was staged. So was there some sort of coordinated timing about all of that? Who knows? Um, or maybe that's when Elon realized, oh, if he can pull that off and manipulate people, I can help manipulate people. I could gain something out of this. Who knows? Because we all know it's staged, and we all know Elon bought the election so that he can enrich himself, which he's already doing, and Trump hasn't even taken office yet. And so then they get in this big fight about, the again the MAGAs are like, you guys don't understand. We want our white nationalist country back. Get the brown people out. No more visas. No more immigration. And we're not talking about undocumented immigrants that are like picking lettuce, that kind of thing. They want to round all those people up, but they also want to get rid of all the HB1 visas and any kind of sort of legitimate reason people are here. So there is an argument on both sides that that immigration, yeah, we're taking. There are jobs that are being taken by immigrants, but for the most part, it's either because they're either not qualified or they're jobs the American people don't want to do, or it's the companies using the visas as a grift to pay people less and control them more. So there is abuse of the process. That's okay. We've all known that, but I don't think it's so widespread and out of control that we really have that many people in tech that are out of work because we've brought in too many HB1 visa employees. There's a lot of work in tech. Anyway, so they go through this big fight, and she's screaming at Elon, you're not the president. We don't have monarchs. There's a whole big thing going on, and like it's all sort of MAGA turning on these these oligarch venture capitalists and tech bros and it's actually kind of funny to watch them implode. And kind of maybe is a little bit of a bellwether that the House couldn't get their resolution passed to fund the government. Like maybe they really can't get anything done. But in this fight that when happened online, then Elon takes away the blue check status from all of these people that have been defending the abolition of the HB1 visa. He apparently, I guess, canceled all of Laura Loomer's subscriptions and notified the subscribers that she's not a subscription member anymore. And she's like, that's not true. He's just trying to take away my revenue stream. It's probably her primary revenue stream. Um, and so he's just like, he doesn't believe in free speech. He never believed in free speech. He bought Twitter so he could control it. These people are so dumb. Um, anyway, so all of these people are now losing all their status on Twitter, and all up in arms and mad at him. And so, I mean, who knows? He is definitely the biggest chaos agent of this incoming administration, which is kind of hilarious. Um, and who knows what that does to that relationship with him and Trump? And Trump still be like, no, we want to get rid of the HB1 visas. That's a big problem for people like Elon and the oligarchs that he and the excuse me the billionaires that Trump keeps pointing into his cabinet. So they maybe they didn't believe him either, and they didn't really understand how racist this whole thing is. But who knows? We'll see what happens. It is really an opportunity for the Democrats to be like, this is what you voted for. This is the chaos that you asked for. And I don't know why we're not out there like just hammering that point home. Probably because we're still playing by the Nancy Pelosi playbook, which should be closed and burned. If we want to burn a book, let's burn the Nancy Pelosi playbook. The Democrats are making a huge mistake by not letting people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Maxwell Frost and the sort of the new generation of leaders be front and center. That is what will engage voters, not sitting back and letting the electorate make up their own mind and watch it for themselves. No, you have to point it all out to them, show them this is the chaos that they signed up for. So it is an opportunity, and if the Democrats would stop saying, "Well, we can't wait to work bipartisanly," which is so fucking stupid, and just say no, and like you get your shit together, you're the ones in charge. Don't help. Anyway, it's we haven't even gotten to the certification of the results yet, and this is they're imploding in hilarious ways, fighting against each other. So maybe there is still hope that they will fracture themselves somehow, but only time will tell. In the meantime, as much as I don't want to see the country fail, I certainly love watching all those idiots fucking flounder.